Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. In this video, we have a compilation of Karens to amuse and frustrate you. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, it's Mother's Day, and our Choosing Beggar Karen informs us that giving gifts in public is forbidden, unless they are to her son. Let's jump right in. Roughly a week ago, I was involved in one of the most ridiculous cases of choosing beggar I have ever witnessed or read on this sub. The original scene went down in Afrikaans, so excuse me if the phrasing is a bit off. Me and my brother are both working adults and live in a city about a 3-hour drive from the town my parents live in. Our parents were on their way back from a short holiday last weekend, and as it was Mother's Day and it had been a while since we last saw them, my brother and I asked them to make a slight detour on the way back so we could treat my mom to lunch. We don't usually make a big fuss out of Mother's Day, but as my brother and I had missed my mom's birthday 2 weeks prior due to unrelated work obligations, we conspired with my dad to get her a modest gift from each of us as a sort of belated birthday thing. So as we arrive at the restaurant, there were warm greetings and hugs all around, and we hand my mom the relatively small gifts, 2 neatly wrapped and the other in a gift bag. Just to be clear, there wasn't any opening of gifts, tearing the paper, or anything of the like. We were all peripherally aware of a child screaming in the background, but as it was a fairly family-friendly restaurant, we didn't pay it any mind. Only the screaming gets ever closer, and soon we find a woman with a screaming and sobbing child who looked to be around 6 or 7, standing at our table. "Excuse me," she demands, "you can't just go around doing this sort of thing in public." Puzzled glances all around, wondering what the heck she was referring to. I share a look with my brother, and immediately the name Karen comes to mind, because darned if she didn't fit the stereotype perfectly, haircut and all. "I'm sorry, what?" my brother asks in genuine bafflement. "Opening gifts in public!" She spits in a way that suggests we might as well have been fornicating at the table. "Now he's crying since he didn't get anything." She continues with a vague gesture at the sniffling, slobbering, red-eyed child who looks like he ran afoul of 3 different strains of bronchitis. I was stunned, speechless by the sheer temerity of the woman, but across the table, my dad is visibly winding himself up to give this woman the tongue lashing of the century. Being the peacemaker that she is, my mom intercedes, clearly wishing to prevent the scene my dad or I were likely to cause. As it so happens, she had a small packet of chocolates, which they had gotten from the guest house they were staying at, in her handbag. So contrary to what likely anyone else would have done, my mom reaches into the bag and hands the small boy the packet across the table. The tears dry up momentarily, and he stares at it before angrily throwing it to the ground and resuming the sobs. He screams incoherently and gestures at the wrapped gifts, which are sitting on the table on the empty seat to my mom's left. "I think you should rather give him one of those," the woman nonchalantly says and starts reaching across the table to grab one, which funnily enough contained a somewhat expensive hand cream my mom likes, and would have been far less useful to a child than chocolates were, though I wouldn't have put it past him to try eating it. At this point, I grasped her arm around the wrist to prevent her from grabbing the gift. Definitely not hard enough to bruise, but I thought it would get the point across. It didn't. She rears back and attempts to slap me for daring to lay my hands on a woman. I'm not exactly able to effectively defend myself from a sitting position, so I get up. I'm a pretty big guy at around 195 centimeters, or 6'4", and 110 kilograms, 240 pounds, and she was a relatively small woman, so I towered over her quite a bit. Contrary to what one so often reads on Reddit, this didn't seem to deter her in the slightest, and she proceeds to attempt to inflict some sort of harm on me with mad flailing, though I was easily able to keep her at arm's length. At this point, the staff get involved and two waiters pull the woman, who's screaming and hissing by this point, away from our table. The manager gets involved and there's a lot of screaming and yelling from both the woman and her child. As one might expect, she immediately starts making ridiculous accusations, which gets absolutely no traction as there had been about 24 other people who had watched the whole thing go down. She's eventually firmly asked to leave the premises before the police get involved and we get offered free dessert as compensation. Definitely the first time in my life I see someone act that crazy firsthand. Happy to supply a story after lurking here for ages, hey? For those wondering why we didn't get the police involved, it's South Africa, and it's really far, far more of a hassle than it's worth. Doubly so, considering I was far more amused by her attempted assault than hurt in the slightest. Story 2 gives us a much more reasonable Karen. All this choosing beggar demands is that the OP change their dog's name, since she is planning on giving that name to her unborn child. No sharing names between humans and canines. Certainly this is something we can all get on board with. I'm pretty sure that this rule is the reason why my mother didn't end up naming me Spot. Hello? Hey Janae, it's Karen. I'm Blank's wife. We met at Colby and Blake's christening. Hi, yeah, I remember. It was a while ago now. How are you and your family? Good, thanks. Actually, I'm pregnant again, and that's why I'm messaging you. Oh, wow. Big congratulations to you and Blank. You must be so happy. I bet new Bub will be just as beautiful as your 4 boys. Were you messaging me because you need a hand with the cattle or something? Actually, new baby will be a bit different to the boys. It's a girl. That's amazing. She'll be so protected. As you know, I've got nieces and they're so much fun. You're going to love it. Really stoked for you, Karen. Yeah, I don't need help with cattle and we're excited too. We want to name her Tilly, but it's come to my attention you have a dog named Tilly, and I'd appreciate you changing the dog's name. Lol. Obviously, she can't have the same name as a dog, and we're bound to bump into each other. Yeah, nah, I see. Hey mate, I don't think it's necessary to change my Tilly's name. I don't think you'll ever see her, and I don't think anyone will notice they've got the same name anyway. I can't express how I feel right now. I'm so disappointed and let down in you and Janae. People say you're a nice person, but I can see you have them tricked. You don't have children. You'll never understand how a mother can love and just want the best for this perfect little person. I'm honestly shocked you're being so heartless and unreasonable. You didn't even consider changing the animal's name for my daughter's future? This is going to impact her life and potentially ruin her confidence and life. Can you even imagine growing up having the same name as a mutt? You carelessly have put me in a terrible position. You are a piece of work and don't deserve your good family. You are ruining a baby's life. Think of what you are doing, Janae. Your inaction has huge consequences. I'm not going to change Tilly's name, mate. Have a good one, and congrats again, hey? No, flip you. This isn't over, Janae, and I'll be talking to Shireen and Glenn about you. She'll be disgusted in you, just like I am. You're a disgrace. Please reconsider. The Karen in our final story may be the most sensible of the bunch. All she wants is for the restaurant that is sold out and cleaning up for the night to restart everything so she can get a sandwich. Even Karen's gotta eat. So, some backstory. I work at a low-volume, high-price restaurant. Since we don't make a lot, we end up selling out of some stuff occasionally. On this day, we happen to sell out of one of our meats. Of course, customers come in right as we start to close. This is what happens. Can I get one of your meat sandwiches? I'm sorry, we actually sold out of that today. You're joking. What time do you close? In about 5 minutes. Well, I expect service until the second you close your restaurant. I understand that, but we sold out an hour ago and I'm cleaning my oven. I point over to the oven that's clearly being cleaned with soap all over the inside. Well, hurry and clean it. I want your meat sandwich. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to make it. We are about to close. What the hell? How can you possibly expect me to pay $20 for your sandwich if you're out of it? I'm silent. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the flip am I supposed to say to that? Exactly. So please make me a sandwich. I look down at the clock and realize that we're supposed to be closed now. I'm sorry, ma'am, but we're closed. She gasps and says, Oh, really? You're gonna love the Yelp review I leave for you, and to think I was gonna leave you one huge tip. But here's a better one for you. Then she flips me off and leaves. Flipping Karen. This has been John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like and share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.